Very good evening. Delighted to have your company again of a Thursday evening. Do try and make these shows lively. We try and make them topical. We've had some great guests. Really be blessed with the quality of the guests that we've had, particularly in recent times. And blessed also that quite a number of our guests are quite happy to come back into the studio. And that applies to the guy we have roped in tonight. He first appeared here in April or May of last year, so that's going back kind of 7 months or so. And he's very kindly returned this evening. He's not only returned here, he's also returned to the area. The former Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper, Richard O'Donnell. Thanks very much indeed for coming back. You must have enjoyed it last time then.
Yeah, I must have, yeah. Or I'm a sucker, I'm not sure which one it is.
We'll find out by about 5 to 8 because you're here for the duration. We've got loads to talk about, not least the fact that you joined Rotherham United recently, which gave you a route back to the area from deepest Bristol City.
Yeah, obviously a long way away. Obviously at the time it was a great move for me to go there, but I found myself in a position where I weren't playing much football. So it made sense for me to come home, not only for that purpose, but obviously to play football as well.
Back in civilization. It just seemed an awful long time since you were at Sheffield Wednesday. We have to go back there to, well, in fact, it was only 2012 when you left there, but you've played for nearly every Football League club since then.
Yeah, I'm working my way through, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's strange to be fair, because like I said, I have had a few moves since then, but like we spoke about earlier, I'm sort of goalkeeper and footballer who enjoys playing football, and when I find myself in a position where I'm not playing football, obviously it's not what I want to be doing. So in order to obviously play, then I've had to change clubs a few times, unfortunately. So my wife's not too happy with me at the minute, but yeah, it's all about playing football for me, and not sat just picking up money wherever I go.
That's a really refreshing attitude. We'll just debate that a little bit more after you've told us. It's not only your wife, but you've got a youngster as well, haven't you?
Yeah, 3-year-old boy, yeah, Archie.
Down in Bristol.
Yeah.
And another one on the way.
Yeah, a girl on the way in 8 weeks. So it's all go at the minute, and like I say, it was a difficult decision in terms of obviously there's a lot going off, and obviously we're gonna have to move house and stuff with a baby due in 8 weeks, and you know there's obviously not a lot of time to get all that sorted. But I think the prospect of coming home to family, having 2 kids, and obviously it's going to ease the pressure on my wife and me as well in that respect. Yeah. But to be totally honest, the main reason was to play football. Like I say, if that wasn't at Rotherham, it'd have been somewhere else. But luckily, like I say, it's worked out perfectly where I can come home as well. Yeah,
6 years you were at Sheffield Wednesday from 2006. You've had all those moves, and we'll talk about that peculiar nature of being a goalkeeper and how it does entail more movement than other players. But also in the course of this programme tonight, we've got Jordan Rhodes to talk about. You faced him, an opinion on Jordan Rhodes. Aaron Ramsdale, the young Sheffield United goalkeeper who's gone a big money move, well, relatively for a third-tier team, to transfer a player for over £1 million. He's gone to Premier League Bournemouth. Your view on him. And also weekend fixtures, which throw you up against your former club straight away, almost straight away in Bristol City. Sheffield Wednesday's game at Wigan and Sheffield United v AFC Wimbledon. We'll talk about all of those things. But just first, it was great to hear you say you'd rather play than stick around for the money, because you could have been sitting there at Bristol now, couldn't you?
Yeah, like I say, it was a difficult decision because I could have stayed there and been happy doing what I was doing. But like I say, I want to, when I finish my career in hopefully 10 years' time or whatever it may be, I want to be remembered for playing football and not for someone who's been at clubs and not played a lot of games. And like I say, being happy to sit there and pick the money up. That's obviously, I want to be remembered for playing football. Yeah, like I say, I was only at Bristol for a year, and like I say, I wasn't in a position where I was going to be playing much football from now till the end of my contract, which I had 18 months left on. So, like I say, I could have easily just done that. But yeah, again, Rotherham popped up, and it was a great opportunity for me to play football.
You say 18 months left on contract. I mean, it's quite possible, I'm guessing, that you could end up making a loss actually on the move, because you'll have joined Rotherham in the Championship. I would presume that, and I hope you don't go down, but there is a possibility, you have to face that you wouldn't be on that same contract or terms next season if you do.
No, well, obviously the club have got, I think, I'm guessing in everyone's contracts that obviously if it's common in every club that if the club goes down that you get a wage reduction, and that is the case. And if I'm being honest, I took a slight little hit anyway in the first place to come back up.
Okay.
for the reason of playing football. And
Yeah.
again,
You took
that's
less
what
money. You took less money.
I took less money. Yeah, I took less money to come. And like you say, I had to think about the possibility of the club going down, because it is a possibility, and there's no going away from that. But again, I wanted to play football, and it suited me perfectly to come and play football. Obviously, I've got at least 6 months of playing in the Championship. Hopefully a lot longer. If we do go down, then it's a great club to be at in League One, where we can come and challenge and obviously bring good times back and get back up. But like I say, like we spoke about earlier, I'm more than confident that the group we've got is good enough to be in this league. It's just a case of showing that now. Obviously, time's running out. We're well aware of that. We've just got to have a bit of confidence about ourselves and try and get up there.
Yeah, I mean, all the games you've played so far, and you've played 3, you've actually been in them for long spells. Even the first one, although it shows a 4-0 defeat at Newcastle, that was your debut. Until just before half time, you were the better team, from what I heard on the radio.
Yeah, well, exactly that. I mean, we conceded a goal in the 45th minute just before half time. But we were honestly looking at coming in at half time and at least at 0-0, and if not 1-0 to us, because we probably had the better chances. And obviously, when you're down there, you're down at the bottom league for the reason. And obviously, we conceded too many goals, and that first goal really, it was a bit of a sucker punch for us, really, just before half time. And then in the second half, they came out obviously a lot more confidence, moving the ball around a lot better than they were in the first half. And obviously, the result ended up as a 4-0 in a game where it probably wasn't a 4-0 game. And again, at Barnsley at the weekend, there was not a lot in the game. No. We controlled the games and probably had the better chances again, I would say, without testing their keeper too much. We probably had, I personally think we had the better of the game. And again, it does that little bit of moment of quality, lapse in concentration possibly from us, and they take advantage, and then we're back to square one. And unfortunately, like we say, we're down the bottom of the league for a reason. When we concede a goal, it sort of deflates the team a lot because of where they are in the league. And obviously, I mean, it's easy for me to say because I've been here for 2 or 3 weeks, but obviously the team have been going through it throughout the season where they conceded a goal, and they must be thinking, oh, here we go again. But there's got to become a point in this last 15, 16 games where we've got to get that out of us games and try and carry on in the game.
Let's hope so. It's not beyond recall yet, but it's getting close to it. A dozen points or so separating you from a safe position. One thing that stands out for me, although you talked there about not conceding goals, and you lost 2-0 in another tight game at Nottingham Forest on Tuesday night, from those 3 games, you've yet to see a goal at the other end. You've yet to see your team score. So that's putting you in the defence under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it does. And like I said, we are at the bottom of the league for a reason. We've not scored enough goals, and we've conceded too many goals, and that's obviously what's happened in the last 3 games as well. But again, it's not just strikers who need to score goals. It's obviously we've got a lot of strength going up for corners and set pieces and stuff, and vice versa. It's not just the defenders and the goalkeeper to blame for conceding goals. So we all know that, and we all take collective responsibility for what's going on at the minute. And like I say, it's up to us to add that little bit of confidence in ourselves, because we have got a good squad of players, and it's more than doable. I mean, you only have to see what happened last year with Rotherham and how things changed there in this position. I think it was 15 points with 12, 13 games ago that they were in, and they went on a hell of a run to stay up. So it is possible. The club's done it before. I certainly won't lose belief in what we can achieve and get out of it. And like I say, hopefully the rest of the lads in the squad, like I say, it's good enough to stay up, and hopefully they have the belief as well.
We'll talk more about Rotherham later. Danny Ward, you've kept, despite all the interest in him from a number of clubs. I think there were offers, but they didn't go near what Rotherham were set a price on, and they weren't prepared to compromise on that either. Actually, they held firm on that. I think it was over 2 million. You won't know, 2.5 million or whatever. Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. As I say, we will return to the Millers later. Obviously, the big news of the week, apart from Aaron Ramsdale's move, and Sheffield United we'll talk about as well, because they did all their deals early in the winter. Yeah. The big news was Jordan Rhodes. You'll have read the speculation and seen it just as much as anybody. Did you expect that move to go through? It was rumoured for so long. Did you think? Were you surprised or not?
Not really surprised, to be honest. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday are in a totally different position financially, certainly since I left the club. So they've obviously got a lot of pull financially. So I wasn't surprised. Obviously, like I say, it was rumoured for a long time, and obviously with his dad being there as well, probably helped quite a bit. But it's a fantastic signing from him. Obviously, he's obviously a proven goal scorer at Championship level, and he adds to the quality they've got in the strike force already.
Yeah, you've obviously got a lot of affection still for the Owls and monitor what's going on. Huge expectations now, aren't they? You know, when you sign a player of that level, particularly, it puts another marker down, takes it to another level, really.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, whenever you spend £10 million on a player, then obviously there's going to be that pressure at the club. But not only that, like I say, they've got Forestieri, Hooper, Fletcher, all them players that are obviously very, very good players. If they're not Championship, they're Premiership players. So that's the pressure. Who
would you pair? And you're looking at it from a goalkeeper's perspective. Who of that array of strikers would you pair?
It's a difficult question. I mean, you would have to say that obviously you're spending £10 million on a striker that you'd probably think he would be your number one striker, and rightly so. Probably he scored his proven record in the Championship. It's phenomenal, his record, in all fairness to him. And then it's hard to pick from the rest, to be fair. I don't know what. Obviously, I think they play with two up front, so they're only limited to two, really. So. Yeah. I mean, Forestieri is probably the second main man in the team now, if not the main man still. So you'd have to think that it'd be them two, because they're the more likely to score, I would say, at the moment.
I'm just wondering, though, I mean, there's talk about Forestieri, does he like playing on the left of midfield and breaking? Last season in particular, I thought he had some of his best games for Wednesday in that position, joining in from that left-hand side, even though you'd anticipate that's not his favoured role. But you look at Rhodes, he's not renowned as a target man, the old-fashioned target man, holding it up and linking. He's not renowned for physical strength or link-up play. He's renowned purely and simply as a goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah.
So would that work, Rhodes and Forestieri, because have you got enough strength there and traditional forward play?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, to be fair, and it is a good option for him to play Forestieri on the left, although he might not be too happy about it. It might be a great option for him. And obviously, like I say, they've got Hooper, who's good at holding up and linking up play, and Fletcher, obviously really good in the air and a strong lad. So that might be a good option for him. So yeah, obviously they've got a lot of options, and they've got a lot of good wingers as well, which is why they might not play him on the left. Obviously, they've got Reach, who can play out there, and a lot of other decent wingers who they can play. Wallace. So. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm sure they'll take it game by game and assess who they're playing and see what they think's best, but they've certainly got a lot of options.
Very much so. The reason why I think he could work with Forestieri on the left is, well, you might say, oh, a bit fragile that. He's prepared. When his mind's right, he's prepared to get back and win the ball back as much as any player. Yeah. And for a flair player like him, I always think that stands out in his game. Yeah,
definitely. Everyone's seen it firsthand. He's definitely got the work rate there. Like I say, when he's on his game, he's one of the best players in the league, not just on the ball, but the work he does for the team off the ball as well is well documented. So he certainly it's a good option for him, and like I say, one I'm sure they'll probably use from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the first selection is at Wigan, but I believe Gary Hooper's doubtful, so that would remove him from the equation. Jordan Rhodes definitely involved, apparently, according to Carlos Carvalhal today. You'd think from the bench to start with. You would think, but you can never second guess these things, can you?
Well, you never know. It's going to be an interesting game, to be fair. It's like, say, see what he picks, and obviously Wigan, to be fair, have picked up a little bit recently with a few good results, so it'll be a tough game for him. So it'll be interesting to see what he goes with.
Yeah, it's kind of game that with the resources Wednesday have now, you've got to look for a win rather than a draw. It's disappointing for them that they only drew at Bristol City, I thought, the other night. Been having a shocking run. You'd know more about that.
Yeah, well, obviously they'd lost 8 in a row before that, so I mean, for Bristol City to get that point would be obviously a fantastic point for them, probably. I'm not sure how the game went. I don't know who had the better of the game or whatever, but I'd imagine that Bristol City would be the happier of the two with the result, obviously, with the way things are going. And like I said, Sheffield Wednesday will be disappointed, because you'd think they're the games that they want to go and win. No disrespect to Bristol City, but like you said, the run that they are going on, Sheffield Wednesday would certainly fancy the chances.
Always like to talk about strikers to goalkeepers, so we'll come on to Billy Sharp in a minute. Just before we do, you'll have faced Jordan Rhodes at some stage.
Yeah.
Do you keep a clean sheet or not?
He didn't score, but I don't think he kept a clean sheet. But no, listen, he's a...
Who was he playing for? That was at Blackburn?
I think he was at Blackburn. Yeah, he was at Blackburn, yeah.
So you were in goal for Bristol City? Wigan?
It might have been Sheffield. No, was it Sheffield Wednesday? I'm not actually sure. I can't remember who it was. But definitely Faith. I can't remember who it was.
You'd have remembered if he scored.
That many teams.
You'd have remembered if he scored.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
No, he didn't. He didn't score. But he was good in the game. And like you say, it's strange because, like you say, he's not renowned for particularly hold-up play. He's not renowned for particularly being great in the air. But you know, whenever he plays, if he gets a sniff at goal, he's gonna take his chance more than likely. So to have that in your squad is obviously a fantastic asset for Sheffield.
He's also prepared to miss. I think probably the great skill is getting in that position where he he has the instinct to get in there, and he does miss, but it never affects him.
No, and that's probably a sign of a good striker. That he's he'll miss chances, but give him another chance and he'll probably stick it away. And he's not got negative thoughts when he does miss a chance, and he moves on quickly. We might
equally be describing Billy Sharp, mightn't we, at Sheffield United, who's been around for a bit longer. Oddly enough, both Billy Sharp and Jordan Rhodes have birthdays this weekend, both on Sunday, February the 5th. Right. It's an incredible coincidence. Jordan Rhodes is 27. He's got 188 goals already in his career. 27, less than 27. And Billy Sharp becomes 31, 18 this season for Sheffield United. That's terrific, isn't it?
Yeah, very good. To be honest, wherever he's been known for scoring goals, and he's been the same at Sheffield United. Obviously, it's a club that he loves, and that's obviously showing in his play week in, week out. He's been terrific this season, scoring. I don't know, like I say, scored a lot of goals, and throughout his career at Scunthorpe and wherever else he's been, Southampton, he's scored goals. So again, he's a natural goal scorer, and he's proving that this season. Yeah, and they're at home to AFC Wimbledon, the Blades on Saturday, and Rotherham, you're away at Bristol City, which is amazing, and you're having to get to know quite a few new players. Several have arrived, but the latest one, looking tonight, Joel Ekstrand has signed, who you know very well because you've signed him from Bristol City. Yeah. Well, Warney asked me about Joel probably about a week, 10 days ago, and asked me what he was like as a lad and obviously as a footballer. Obviously, I gave him a good reference because I think he's a very good footballer and he's a great lad. So he'll fit in really well, I think. It's a good group, it's a tight group, and that's, I think, the main thing in what Warney's thinking. He don't want to bring players in that'll disrupt the group, obviously at a key stage for us. So that was a big thing for him, and like I say, added to his footballing ability, it'll be a good signing for us. What are his main qualities for you? He's very, very calm on the ball. He wants the ball, and obviously as a defender, he's good in the air, and he's sort of no nonsense as well. So he'll fit in really well with what we've got. And hopefully, I think he'll just bring that little bit more calmness as well. He's obviously been around the block. He's played in the Premier League quite a lot. Got promoted to the Premier League out of this division and stuff like that. So I think he'll, like I say, I think he'll fit in really, really well. So I can't speak highly enough of him. Just quite an optimistic outlook at Rotherham. Although relegation would appear to be staring you in the face, I don't get that feeling of desperation and total dejection because you've got a stable club, a very, very committed chairman, owner, who's going to carry on investing in it, whichever division you're in. So, it's still a very attractive proposition, I would have thought, Rotherham, for coming straight back if you happen to go down. Yeah, and that's again, that was in my thinking, certainly. And like we spoke about earlier, Warren is, I think, the perfect man for the job at the minute. He's been brilliant around the place. He's been fantastic, obviously, certainly since I've been there. He's the most positive guy I think I've ever come across, and at the minute, obviously, with where we are in the league and the situation, it's exactly what we need. And if we come in on a Monday morning, the lads obviously sometimes a bit down, right, and understandably because of a loss or where we are in the league, he picks you up straight away. He knows what to say. He's honest. He knows what to get out of the players, and like I say, he's been fantastic for us so far. You've got some really genuine guys that you're working for there. I mean, there's Matt Hamshaw, John Breckin. You couldn't meet two more honest, straightforward characters than those two. And Paul Warne as well, thoroughly nice guy. There must be a lot of goodwill in that dressing room towards those people. Well, there is, yeah. I mean, and the lads are genuinely trying to do the best for Warney and Hammy and the rest of the staff because it's a genuine group of lads, and Warney's doing everything he can for the lads. Obviously, he's come from being a fitness coach into management, and it's obviously not an easy transition for him as well. So obviously he needs a bit of help from us, and we need obviously the help from him. And he's been, like I say, he's been fantastic. So okay, more chat about Rotherham, more Blades, more Owls, and James Gregg with your sport and your club in part 2. Join us in 5. See you then. Bye. See you.